Welcome friends, greeting from Skills Up to Date YouTube channel, and today we are going to learn another new Java 8 feature, method reference. So before starting the tutorials, my request to all the viewers to kindly subscribe to our channel. So now, what is a method reference? So method reference is a new feature introduced in Java 8, and before learning the method reference, you should get familiar yourself with the functional interface and Lambda expression. You can explore my tutorials on Lambda expression. Now, method reference is a shorthand way of writing the Lambda expression. So and if the Lambda expression is only calling a single method, then it can be further shortened with the method reference. So method reference is a shorthand way of writing the Lambda expression, but the Lambda expression should be having only one method call. Now, like Lambda expression, a method reference is also a way of implementing the functional interface, and method reference is valid only in the context of the functional interface. You can see a method reference only implement a functional interface. So, and the method reference return a functional interface type. So the left side variable is a functional interface, and right side is a implementation of the functional interface using the method reference. So as we come to know that method reference is a shorthand implementation of the Lambda expression. So now we are trying to printing out a list of string using the for each loop. We do it first using a Lambda expression. It will be very simple if we do using the Lambda expression. Now we'll go to Eclipse and further check how we can execute this using a Lambda expression. So here is a list of strings. So I have used array_list method, which is provide a list of string. Now we are printing out the each words in the list using the for each statement. So if I can execute this method, it will print out each words in the string. So this is actually quite simple, but we can further reduce it, further simplify it using a method reference, and a method reference, it has been further simplified. I can get the same result. So if I am going to run using I have written the same for each loop using a method reference, and we are getting the same outcome. So what is happening? As I told you, if the Lambda expression having only one method call. Here in the Lambda expression, we are just calling the system out class print method, which is going to print a string into a IO device. So here is our screen. So since it's a simple method call, we can refer the println method using the method reference. We are going to learn this further. Now we are going to learn the syntax of the method reference. In method reference, we use a double colon operator to refer a method. So you can see we have first the class name and or object name, and then double colon, and then method name. Also, when we are invoking a method using a method reference, you see we don't have passed any argument in the method reference call. The JVM will decide Java will decide the argument in the method reference by comparing the argument of the functional interface, the method reference implement. So method reference, again, a useful replacement of the Lambda expression if the Lambda expression having only one method call, and again its method reference is only used in the functional interface context. It can be assigned only to a functional interface. Now let us write a functional interface, simple functional interface, and here is a simple functional interface where we are adding two numbers, and it having a add two number method as abstract method. So we can have a very simple implementation of adding two number in the math library. Since we are working with the method reference, I am going to implement using add two number using the math libraries add method. So that will going to add two numbers. So in the using the lambda expression, you can simply call the math library add exact method, which take two integer and return the result. But same also can be using the lambda expression. Here you can see, using the lambda expression, we don't need to specify any parameter list or arrow, but we can have the class name math, and then method reference double colon operator, and then the method which we are going to call. We are going to add exact method, and we have not passed any argument. This argument will resolved by the compiler, by looking at the argument of add to number method in the add a number interface. So we are going to implement this and execute this. Now let's go to Eclipse and we have this add number interface which having a add to numbers method. So first we are going to implement it using lambda expression, and if we call execute the code, we will get the result of two numbers. So here we have added 20 and 30, and the sum of the two numbers printed here. Now we are going to implement the same using the method reference. So using the method reference also, we like lambda expression, the left side will be a functional interface. Okay. So now in the method reference, we are just going to we just need to call the method on the class. So we have a math class here, and we are going to add exact method. Add exact method, and we are not going to pass any argument. As you can see, this argument what need to be passed will be resolved by looking at the abstract method argument in the functional interface. So now if we are going to execute that method, we are going to get the same result. So we have add two number 20 and 30, and the result is the same using the method reference. So method reference further simplified and shortened the lambda expression. Now we are going to learn different type of method reference, as we come to know that method reference is nothing but calling a method. So the most common way of calling a method reference is calling a static method. So we can use the static method. First we put the class name and then double colon and then static method. So static method name, how we can invoke the static method that we already seen in previous example, where we have called the system out as println method, which is a static method. Now the next is the calling a method on a particular object, on a specific object. So when you're calling a particular instance method on an object, the syntax will be you have to object and then double colon operator and then the instance method name. The third is the way is calling the method reference to an instance method of any arbitrary object, not a specific object that you have. So in that case, you can use a static method static method invocation, static method reference syntax. We have the class name and then double colon and then instance method name. But here is a catch. When you calling the instance method on a class, so that class must be an argument of the functional interface. That we will discuss later. When I show you example, I will explain more about this. So, and the last one is the constructor method reference. So constructor is also a kind of a method, right? So we can use the class name and then double colon new operator to invoke the constructor using method reference. So that will of course a kind of going to return a new object. Now we are going to learn how we can implement those 4 different kind of method reference. So now let's consider the same functional interface that we used earlier to add 2 numbers. And instead of calling the math method add number, now we have a class that and that class have a static method that can add 2 numbers. Now we are using the static method of that class using through the functional interface. Now let's go to Eclipse and try to execute some code here. So here we have the we have the add number interface, and which have add method, and we have the simple math handler class. Now we can execute the different type of method reference. Okay, so let's comment the code. Okay, now first we are going to see how we can call a static method. So static method using the math reference. So here is we have the add number interface, and then simple math handler class, and the simple math handler class, and add to number static method. So this way we can we have already seen in the previous example how to call the static method, and if I'm going to execute this, we can get the result. So this is a simple way, just a class name and then the method name. Now we are going to call a instance method on a object. So we are going to use the same functional interface to add two numbers, and we are having a class with a non-static method, instance method, to add two numbers. And now we can create an object of that class. We can create an object of that class which has add two numbers method, and now we can have a we can call the add two numbers method, non-static add to number method, on the object of that class. So we have the handler identifier, and in that identifier, using the method reference operator, we are calling the add to numbers. We can now we are going to learn how we can call an instance method of any arbitrary object. To call an instance method on any arbitrary object, we have one catch: the object must be a parameter or argument of the functional interface. So we have modified our functional interface and make it with add number interface 2, and in that add number interface 2 add number method, we are taking the simple math handler as an argument or parameter. So we have already the simple math handler class which having an add two numbers method, which is an instance method. Now, once you pass the simple math handler as an argument, we can call the add to number method of simple math handler the similar way we call the static method. So we have the class name, and then double colon, and we are calling the add to number method like we call in the static method reference. Let's go to Eclipse and see with the example. So in last example, we have called a method on an object. So if I now directly calling a simple math handler which has a instance method directly using the double colon, immediately we get the a compilation error, and it is saying cannot make a static reference to a non-static method. So this will not going to work, is directly calling a instance method on class name. So we have already modified our functional interface, and in that interface we have added a simple math handler class as argument. So now we change it our interface type, and then we can see if we can directly call a instance method. So we have now we have changed our functional interface type, and immediately we can see the compilation issue gone. So now this method, instance method call using the class name, has become valid. And all you need to do now we can pass the simple math handler class as an object argument, as a functional interface argument. So we create a new simple math handler class and add to number method. What is the issue with this? Okay, now if we save it, okay, still showing the compilation error. Okay, so that is the issue with the method name. So now we use the correct method name, and all compilation issue has gone. Now if we are going to execute this method, execute this code, and we'll get the addition of two number. We have add 30 and 25, and we got the result 25. So by passing any object as a functional interface argument, we can call the method instance method on that object. Now the last type of method reference is calling a constructor using the method reference. So call a constructor, we first need to create an object. So we have created a person class, and we have to write a functional interface as well, because method reference only work in context of functional interface. So I have write a generate person interface, and which will going to create a person class using a constructor. So person class having functional interface having a get person method, which will take few argument and generate a person class. And our person class is a very simple constructor. So it will take first name, last name, and age, and generate a person. So now using the constructor method reference like person, class name, and double colon new operator, we will generate the person. So we can see how we will go to Eclipse, and in the Eclipse we will see. So the first thing we did is we have created a person class which having a three property, first name, last name, and age. And then we have created a constructor, a constructor to create a person, first name, last name, and age. Now we are going to, create a person class using a, constructor method reference. So I have already written some code to save the time, so I just copy paste. So the first thing, we have a generate person interface and create a functional reference type, and then in the class we are called the double colon, and then we call the get person method. Double colon new operator will pick up the specific argument, specific constructor based on the interface type. We may have the multiple version of the constructor, but depending on the functional interface argument type, it will pick the current constructor. Now if I are going to execute that method, we will see we can create a person with these details, John, Doe, and age 35. So now let's execute the code, and which will print out the person details. And you can see here the person details being printed out correctly. Thank you for watching our method reference tutorial, and kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel, and thank you, and see you soon.